The Cologne Major is right around the corner, starting with stage 1, and our special episodes are coming through fast and furious. I'm going to do the usual bits here, but I'll do it in a little bit. I got to say that for this guest, it couldn't be a Cologne Major. It couldn't be Cologne without having this team there, without having German representation, that's for sure. And we're very fortunate and lucky to have him joining us. So please, everyone, big welcome to Big tabseN, a man I have known for, now, my God, it must be over 10 years, nearly his entire career that he's been on Big Clan and everything he's been able to do. I think Devilwalk, you've probably known him a lot longer though, right?
I mean, probably, yeah. Competed against most of his teams, played some... I remember in the early days even, we played some gathers together and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been a long... I can't remember the exact year, to be fair, but... and when it was, but I do remember being on the same server and same gather as tabseN. He was wrecking everybody, even back then.
Good memories. Hello, my friend. And tabseN, let's just start by asking you right now, heading into Cologne, just out of Counter-Strike, right? You as a person, how are you? I would say you look healthier, you look happier, especially from when I last saw you.
Yeah, I can imagine. Last time you probably saw me was not the happy tabseN, but I'm doing actually really good. Like really, I'm doing just fine. Like I've also changed some like routines in my life in general, just some habits to create where I feel much more comfortable with myself, and also like in general. Other than that, yeah, my life is fine. Really appreciate the question. I hope yours as well, guys. Really, like I know like it's been tough maybe the last few years, especially like around the world, right? But being a little bit more egoistic and watching only myself and counting myself, I think I'm just doing okay.
That's good, man. That is really good to hear. Now, I guess the first thing I want to start off with here is just for you, before coming into qualifying for this major, for just the different versions of Big, what has been going on inside of Big. You have been the stable force within that, right? Everyone else has come and gone, but tabseN remains throughout all of it. So that's where I want to start. How have you done it? Like, how did you not think about leaving Big? How did you think about maybe even like not retiring at one point? Like, because you've been through so much stress, bro. And I've seen you through it. I've watched you go through these moments.
I'm just kicking them all. I'm just kidding, man. No. People really believe that, but I'm just joking around. Like really.
Yeah.
My only will is basically, obviously, I'm part of the organization. I created this organization as well. I'm part owner of the organization, and I have people around me who also created this organization for a long time ago, and they deserve nothing but the best. Like they sacrificed their own life to make this company or this project what we really dreamed of in the very beginning with the youngest lineup, I would say, to make it happen. They made it happen from themselves, also for myself. So like I'm just sticking through, you know, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. They tell me what I'm doing it. I'm just a very good, I would say, worker, where I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I need to do for the greater good as well, for the team and for the organization as well. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long road. Like it's now almost 10 years. I've played many different roles. I was an in-game leader. I was just a player. I was an AWPer even at some point, and you know, it's been definitely wild for sure.
Do you miss the AWPing?
The AWPing I miss definitely. Like really, it's so nice to play AWP sometimes in parks or whatever. And I keep on to this date tell my teammates like, hey, I used to be an AWPer. Don't really
forget
like,
it. Don't
count
forget
on me.
it.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Looking at this though, right? Like everything you just said there was many times the community said, why did tabseN not go to another team? You know, why did tabseN, like, because star mode tabseN, when you were such an amazing rifler, right? Like people would say, oh, he could go to a top 5 team, top 10 team in the world. Obviously, like you already mentioned, you're part of the ownership of Big Clan, but did it ever come to your mind that maybe you wanted to go somewhere else, or there was like a possibility of that happening?
obviously in the very beginning where I was still young, I didn't realize what kind of offers I even got like at that point, you know, like I was like just a kid. I was enjoying my time with my teammates. At that time, they
Yeah.
were really like brothers to me, you know, like they were my family. We lived together and everything. Like I grew up with them basically. So it was for me not only a game, it was like my life. They were part of my life. And thinking about changing this kind of lifestyle, it was not in my blood at that point, you know, like I was just having it. As I said before, these people who I like grew up with, they were lovely people, they were loyal, they were like love hard people, you know, and like they deserve to have also a little bit of my success basically. You never see them having this success what I have basically, because you always see me in the cameras and whatsoever, but it was kind of for me sharing the same feeling with them afterwards, you know, like them being a part of me being successful. It was for me definitely like my motivation to keep being part of this project basically. And to this day, like there are many people in this organization you will probably never see on a daily basis, but they sacrifice so much that we can live this life what we all enjoy the most, being in front of your computer playing Counter-Strike. It's like I still do this to this day, you know, like being part of this. So I'm just grateful to be part of this. And yeah, just thinking back as well, obviously there were some offers where I said to myself like, if I accept this offer now, it could be definitely a turning point in my career. I know that I will be playing with the best players in the world there. I can win many trophies, and I can probably even be better at that point because I will learn a lot, right? But I've never accepted that, and to be fair, I also don't regret it at all. Like I live an honest, really nice life.
But it's kind of crazy. I'm like, you've always been, you know, very humble, very chill, down to earth kind of guy to talk to. But I'm wondering if you even realize how good you were. Because, I mean, if we actually look back at it, you were probably, you know, a 120 rated in-game leader at some point, which is like, to the people watching Counter-Strike today, that's not even a thing. It doesn't happen.
No.
It's not anywhere you look, you can get that, right? And you were very unique in that essence of the very, very high fragging in-game leaders. Many times the best player in your team and on the server against the best elite teams in the world. Did you realize how good you were and how much value that actually is if you compare it to today's contrast?
By the way, Devilwalk, you're making this so hard for him because he's so humble that he doesn't know how to answer
I know.
away.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about it, but I realized I was good. I was good enough that top tier teams like were interested in me. So that was like kind of my ego, you know, like I was like, oh, I'm interested to many good players I've played with. I know them for a longer time. I'm chill with them and stuff. But for me, I was like, when I within the bubble, basically what we have created here for ourselves, it was not like that I was like better than this guy, for example, or better than this guy, because they make me be this good as well, you know, like I don't realize maybe in the moment, but I realized for sure afterwards, like if these people would have not been with me in this like road basically, then I would probably maybe not be that good, or maybe I would be even better. We don't know, but at this time with these people around me, I knew I was definitely in a very good state, mentally wise, physically wise, and also like just having these people around me, it was definitely nice. But I think like the way how you said it, Devilwalk, like to be fair, like I didn't see myself like that. No.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fair.
I think, expect that.
I think most people thought you were like absolutely insane, like absolutely insane from an outside perspective. You know, having competed against you and stuff like that. I think it's incredible what you've done within the role and that you've had. You know, so I think you definitely could have been in top one in the world team.
You can tell me, by the way, tabseN, you can say, no, I'm not telling you, but can you let me know now of like maybe some of the top teams of the past that came to you, the offers that you were aware of? Like what teams were wanting you? Because obviously there were so many rumors going around back then, but what ones were real?
I can say definitely, like it's a long time ago. Like I think people don't care anymore, right? There were like at that time where it was like really realistic, it was at the time where FaZe was also struggling a little bit. They have asked me at the time. Also G2, but it was more of a combination with me and God B at that time.
Okay.
So like a duo pickup basically. Liquid wanted me as well, but I feel like nothing bad against Liquid, but I think like Liquid
Not the
is
same.
a team where exactly, it's like not the same. Other than that, I feel like all the other offers were not like really for me, where I say this could be an opportunity, you know.
Yeah.
Like there was many others, but I would say like for that offer, I either like I didn't go for money to the other teams basically, so there needs to be something which is like, oh wow, I can go there, but there was no intent to leave.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. It's good to know. That's
Cool.
good to hear some of it as well. And you've stuck to your guns the whole way. So let's start talking about the version of Big Clan we have today, because you guys have gone international, gone back to German, gone international, gone back to German, and now we're on international again, right? What is it that was always hindering Big Clan and you guys from being able to stay German? Because obviously I was heavily involved in the Academy League. There was enough talent coming through it, but it never seemed to work when it came to like the main team and bringing these players up.
Personally, I don't know, man. It feels like in Germany, it was always like we were cycling around the players, basically.
Yeah.
There was always like a cup of players where you could have put your hands in. It's this guy. Okay, let's put him back in. It could be again this guy, basically, because there were not so many players around that time. And I feel like also definitely I need to say that if the academy players at that time would have maybe had a different environment with maybe not me around, maybe not someone else around, you know, then they could have maybe evolved better or maybe developed better in a way that maybe they made it differently. But also not gonna lie, Germany in that time and also still is just terrible. Look at us. We don't have a single German team, and we have 80 million people living in Germany. We don't have a single Counter-Strike team. How is that possible, you know?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like having a core basically as a Germans is really important. So we have 3 really good players. There are really more good players in Germany. xenn, Slugs, Krimbo, Prozus, all these kind of players are individually wise really good. But as a team, we just didn't work out. Like, not gonna lie. And right now, the 2 international players from our team, it's just a blessing to have them around. It's like we cannot compare them to the others, but the mentality they bring, the firepower they bring, the love to the game they bring, it's like just not comparable to the ones we have played with.
Yeah.
So it's like, like getting back to the international roots, it's like, for us as a German organization, it was not always like, hey, we should not do it. It's like, where can we get the most out of us for the organization, of course, and for the like fans, basically, right? So we had like a huge project with the Academy League, what you just mentioned yourself. There we had many promising players, but overall, I feel like now we are at a time where we want to have like quality players, and having these 2 players in the team is like,
that's crazy.
It's just a blessing, really.
So if we just take a look at, you know, Big in the server, what is different about this Big, without, you know, you don't have to tactically reveal, you know, the essence of it, but what is so much different? Because I've watched a couple of Skybox games, and, you know, seems like you very often have a great read on the situation, you stack sites very well, and you put yourself in, even in disadvantaged situations, on the right place at the right time. What is so different about this Big this time around compared to other iterations?
If I need to answer this question with one word, it would be sacrificial more. You know, like within the team, people sacrifice way more and put the ego down more, I would say. And it's also a huge part that, for example, faveN, he's like, in my eyes, he's a top player who could easily be in a tier 2 team, a star player who maybe evolve into a maybe potentially better player, but he's just right now sacrificing for the greater good that, for example, JDC and BlameF have these roles, have these opportunities to kill maybe more. And including myself, for example, I'm also like this kind of a player right now. I'm not the tabseN I'm used to be, like I need to adjust, adapt, and this is what I'm doing as well to make the lives from my team in overall just more enjoyable, more happy, like that they get also easier kills maybe, where I need to have like an angle where I know, do I die here? Most likely, but my teammate probably has a better angle that he can have an advantage out of his area. So that's what I'm looking for right now. And like these two players, like Josef, faveN, and me, I would say is the biggest difference right now than like the other lineups where we probably had not two sacrificial players, where we right now have maybe, the comparison.
Okay.
Awesome. And that's so important. That's missing in so many teams where everyone's too focused on the numbers or they don't have the right idea of what they want to do, and they end up fighting so much for the same space but not looking at the end result. So that's I think it's also a positive mental change.
And it also is like it helps with consistency. I think that's probably the biggest thing. When you have people who sacrifice themselves consistently, you will consistently bring up the percentage of winning a round, essentially. So it's great to hear. What you said. Yeah,
definitely great. And tabseN, I want to do before we start talking about the main team that you have right now, I just want to ask, how hard has it been on you personally the last couple of years, right? Because if we look back at this and I look back at like majors being so important, the last one we saw you at was Shanghai, and that ended up in a 15th to 16th place. That was the moment where I saw you in a, what I would call bad way, things were not looking good and of what the future would be and stuff. And obviously it's not quite 2 years, but it's a year and a half of that rebuild and now getting back to a major and having the right pieces. Like, how difficult for you personally has that been?
I would say personally, it was one of the most difficult periods of my time or my life in the game. Like as a career, as a tabseN player, I would say definitely not the easiest I had to get along with. But not only me, like there were many players or many people in that time where people were struggling with themselves. Like I can say myself, for example, at some point I just lost my identity. I wanted to be the good guy. I wanted to have everybody on the same page. I wanted to, be with me. I'm a good guy. You can be nice with me. I cannot be so harsh anymore. There's obviously when you have so many different players at a time, you need to always adapt to like the different person as well. It's not easy to get along with if you have same habits like I used to have maybe in 5 years ago, because I could be maybe, for example, to tiziaN very harsh. He knows how I can talk to him. But if I, for example, talk to maybe, like I would say, like faveN, for example, who is maybe more like empathic and he knows more about emotions and stuff, so I cannot work with him the same way, And I would say I didn't do it really well in the last couple of years. I was struggling with myself a lot in that time, and I wasn't the best version of myself, But right now, like I feel like a completely changed person at all. Like I'm 180 degrees differently, Like the sun is shining right now, basically. So I'm doing just fine, and I'm just looking forward to also enjoy these moments right now, and everything is really nice.
That's really positive. And I want to ask about if it's fine around Krimbo as a player, because obviously we already saw the stuff that came out from you guys' documentary, then other people's opinions and thoughts of what was going on. He was at one point for me when he joined Big, like the clutch player, the guy you could rely on, he could almost do anything. Is what you're saying something that kind of ended up happening with him? Is that where like there was just something that didn't work?
I think for me, Krimbo is probably the most, like he had the most potential probably in German of all players, I would say. Like in that role he has played as well, especially. He was like an expert on his role. He could do anything on his role. He knows exactly how he needs to do that kind of things. But I think exactly what you said, like at some point he was also maybe losing himself a little bit, like losing the trust, losing the belief in the team. Now as well, if you are Krimbo, you will potentially get more offers from better teams. What happened, obviously, you get offers, you potentially maybe think about even, hey, I could go to this team, win more trophies, but I have still this environment I really like to be around with, like here was kind of the same part with me where I needed to make the decision, do I now break this environment or do I just be around the environment? And I personally suggested him he should leave the environment. He should take the offers and really do something for you. Just look at yourself. But it's like not an easy decision to make, you know. And as well, I can just say Krimbo is personally wise a very nice human being. I just really hope that he will get the chance to prove himself once again. And as a player, I like obviously everyone knows how Krimbo plays. If there's a fitting team with his gameplay, he's probably one of the best lurkers we have in the game.
Yeah.
Like with Robs in that list, he's like very similar playstyle to Robs. But if there's no team which enables him in that way, I think maybe it's a very hard thing to synchronize with the other 4 players in the team, you know.
Yeah, you need a good IGL, you need a good system as a team, right, to really make the most of him. Well, thank you very much for giving us the insight on that. Is appreciated, because it's a player that I think somehow got forgotten about so quickly, but definitely has so much potential, like you were saying. So let's look now at this year, this team you have, and you know, you guys are not in the VRS points where you're making it to any big events, right? The way you guys qualified for the major was a crazy grind. This is unlike what would be normal for, say, I would say, like, let's look, be honest, down this team. For JDC, for faveN, maybe they would expect to it. Same for Grix, but for you and for BlameF, to do this many events that are not big events, they're a lot of online events or these tier 2, tier 3 lands, like, how difficult is that to go through when you are previously used to being on the biggest stages, getting the invites to the big events? When the partner leagues were up, big was in everything.
Yeah, I think mentality-wise, you need definitely a switch up. It's like before, like it was like having a really nice life. Obviously, you travel a lot. You have your opportunities to play against the best, very best in the world. But after that, I needed to realize it's more like a street fight now.
Yes.
It's like everyone can win. It's like whoever has the biggest will in this team, he will probably have the upper hand, right? So for me, it was really important whenever I had the first conversation with BlameF, he was like, hey, I want to be part of something longer, you know, like I want to have a long-term project. And I was like, perfect. That's what we want. The Cologne Major is probably out of reach anyways, so let's build something for a longer term, right? And he was definitely up to it, but no one expected us to get that good so fast, so all of a sudden everything got more realistic. Now, like, every game matters more, and like every game is like like almost a major qualification game. So like this kind of a path is like, for me, it's still thinking about it, it's like kind of mental. Like, I remember one of the first events where we played like against Lil Mix. We were in Sweden. We lost this against on Ancient. Like, it was one of the first games, and we said like, major is gone. Okay, there's no way we can qualify for the major, right? And then we we already like accepted it kind of in that way that we didn't qualify anymore. And it was like a huge mentally change for sure. Like, for me at least. I can probably say it also for Ben. Ben used to play for Fnatic, also not the very best tournament they had, right? They were also in a very online period of time, and he was beasting there as well. So for us, it was like, nice, we can play a lot of games again, but it was still very exhausting, not gonna lie.
Do you know, I'm just looking at this Devilwalk. I just saw what he said. He said the game against Lil Mix. Yeah, I just had to quickly search. This was on January 23rd, and you were like, "Okay, Major's gone." Like, is that what it feels like during VRS? Like in your heads, where you can lose a game like that, and you're like, "Well, okay, we're screwed."
Yes, absolutely. I remember at the time where we even changed, like where we had the announcement of the change players. People like on Twitter, they made like calculations how many points we need, or what's the percentages of us making it the major. It was like after the change, it was like 0.01 or something, where like literally no chance. And like after that loss, someone said like, you had no chance at all. But I think like with VRS, it's like
everything
so fast
can
change so fast. Yes.
But when did you guys, because you obviously went on a grind, I mean, just looking at the event list, you know, Roman Imperium Cup, CCT, United 21, Nod win, Stake, Ranked, like the list just goes on until where we are right now. When did you actually feel like, okay, we have a chance? What tournament was it when you started to feel like, wait, we can actually do this?
Because like you win Roman, right? But then afterwards, you still think you're not going to qualify. That's crazy.
Yes. For us, it was like winning the first 2 events where we attended Roman Imperium in Portugal, we win it. Then we went to Sweden, we win it as well. And then it was kind of, okay, we are getting closer and closer. We need to have at least one more good tournament to have like the higher chance to make it even further. Then we had some online events, I believe, which we also played really good at that time. We were, I think, 3rd place CCT, which probably we didn't do like for a longer time with BIG.
Or second place
Or
you hit,
second place. Yeah, exactly. And then like we win, I think, one more online event. It was not win, if I'm not mistaken. So we were in a period of time where we won like, I think like 4 tournaments out of 4 or something. Was like, okay, we have now a chance. And then we went to Portugal again, where we played, I think, BC Game Masters, and we were second, and we lost. No, it was in Romania actually, where we lost against Sinners. It was at that time. It was like, this game is basically our major qualification game. It's either us or Sinners at that time.
Okay.
And they won against us, and we were like, oh shit, now it's getting again like really rough. But then we had one more chance to go to Portugal, and we completely dumped it. Completely. Like, we lost, out of 3 games, we lost, I think, believe, all 3 or something. Like, we went last place to the tournament.
Yeah,
and then we were like, oh shit, okay. Is there somewhere, like, a tournament where you can attend to make points good or whatsoever? Because after Portugal, we had maybe one more, like, online CCT, where it was also important if you managed to win it, then we are qualified or something. But it was for the organization, it was not safe enough. It was like, you guys need to play one more LAN tournament. If there is one, we will buy you in, and you will need to make sure. And then we played Belgrade, basically, where also FaZe attended.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
That one.
At that time, like, this tournament was for us, it's now or never, basically. Like, this tournament will all be like the FaZe. And at the time, you know, like, playing these games were...
But even going back to like that Roman Imperium Cup, where you went last place, do you feel like it was like so much pressure on you guys when you play these games on LAN, and that's kind of why you felt like you maybe fumbled it a little bit? Because if we look down at the results, who did you actually play here?
In Roman Imperium?
Yeah, the one you said you went last in.
We played against GG How. We lost 13-5 on Ancient. Then actually we won against Sinners, and then we lost against OG. It was like a system where you had like 4 teams in the group, and everyone played against each other in a best of 1, basically. But I can definitely agree on that. At that time, we were talking more about the major because like it was within reach. It was very close, so we were talking like it's not anymore like that. It's not so realistic. It's actually more realistic that we go to the major. And then, of course, we were talking about it, and we were talking about pressure, how to handle it and stuff. But 100%, I must admit, at that time, we were definitely changing our habits a little bit, overthinking a little bit, you know, like playing not just the usual stuff which we are capable of, we knew at that time. And we lost ourselves a little bit, but like
you probably
losing
get a
and
little
going
bit more frustrated as well when it's so
100%.
close, like, and one fuck up, you just
yes,
go
exactly.
attack mode.
It was like, fuck, if we would have won this game, then we would have been in the major already. But it was like really stressful. It really, like, we had a good talk after this tournament. I remember exactly, like, we were all like, and we had the off day, you know, like it was just one day we have played. You can have an off day at one day. Just fuck it, guys. Come on. And then next tournament.
Back in.
Yeah, and back in.
So, you know, obviously you've been through like the minors, you've been through the RMRs, and now you've done this. What would you say is like the hardest, or how you would compare them? Because some players have never experienced all 3 like you have. So what is the hardest one? What is the worst one?
I think the worst one is just what we have right now, to be honest.
Yeah.
More stress.
The system, the more stress. Also, I think, for example, you had never this kind of tournaments what we have right now. You can buy in. For example, we 3 make a team. We pick 2 more. We can buy in one of these tournaments. And if, for example, we don't know each other, one of us would throw this tournament, you can technically just do it. And at that time where we played minors and stuff, there was not a debate that some people were throwing for games or fixing for games. But right now, I think like these tournaments, they're like a little bit shady in that sense that
Yeah.
You have so many of them, like everything can change like that. You can be qualified. No, you are not. Oh, what the hell? I just won a tournament. What, like, no, you know? So for me, it's like right now the system is like kind of not the very nicest, I would say. For me, the best was minors, definitely. Like the feeling, qualified online to a minor. Now you're in LAN environment. Everyone is here. What's going on? And now you need to win. And
Yeah.
but I feel like also not gonna lie, like this kind of system what we have with VRS right now is like every game matters, right? Like that's why it's kind of cool as well. For example, if two tier 2 teams in a very unknown tournament are playing each other, but you know these two are qualifying right now, they might get some viewership because it's like getting interested more, right?
This is very good for the business side. Like I was saying this, we did this on the podcast when we saw Roman's events, right? He's probably made more money running these events than he has in his whole career playing. Because like he was never at the very top, right? But right now he's running all these events back to back. They've always got different sponsors and stuff, and everything's going really well. Like when you are choosing these tournaments at the moment, do you have someone on your team who's dedicated to looking at VRS and knowing what's best? Or is it still, because obviously VRS is so complicated, a bit of a like gamble? Oh, we need this might, like, how does Big do it? Because I always look at you guys being like the smart tactical planning team, but some of the best teams in the world don't know what they're doing with VRS. So how does it work on you guys?
I think first of all, I think it's really hard to understand the system at all. Like to understand, if I attend this tournament, I can get the most out of this or whatever. So I'm really happy that I don't have to do it, first of all. Second of all, yes, we definitely like thought about it. And we have also people like everywhere, people on Twitter and stuff, they're like on X, they will give some recommendation to the teams. Like, and we also did our work job behind that. Obviously, in the end, you still need to win all games. It doesn't matter which tournaments you attend. In the end, you need to win those. Potentially one is easier than the other, but you still need to win them, right? So for us, we definitely picked up some events to get the groove going on. But after, like, it was like a self pathway, like basically, like, you know, you're like at some point you have to attend this. Like, doesn't matter if FaZe in there or Spirit is in there or whatsoever.
Yeah.
You need to attend this because if you win one time against, let's say, Spirit or Aurora, you will get so many points that it's like worth one more than a tournament win, basically.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy. And then I also want to look like, so we talked about a lot of the events you went through to qualify, but this HLC Belgrade, as it worked out, you guys had already qualified for the major, right? And then you have the situation where you play the finals against FaZe. Yeah. And people are like, oh, they should just, obviously you guys are not going to do this, right? You're not going to throw a grand final and not win an event just so FaZe can qualify. But say, in your perspective as someone who's been at some of these smaller events now, if it was a couple of lower down teams, tier 3, 2-tier teams in that same situation, do you now have this like worries that they might throw situations like that to manipulate it, given what you were saying earlier?
I think to some extent, yes, but I think every tier 2 team, which I know, and they would have the chance to beat FaZe in the grand final, they would never do that. You know, because they play the same way like FaZe is playing, or the same way everyone in the world is playing. They put so much effort and hours into the game to just lose a grand final. I don't think like an honest competitor in that sense who put so much timeline into this would do that. So I think like there were recently also like some scandals. Probably you have heard that also. I'm disgusted by this really because I've played with this guy in a team long time ago. His name was Kazuya. And he played it was in Roma, I think, in Portugal. It was a team where they just attended with 5 randoms. They signed up and they lost. I don't know how much they gained from this, but they were match fixing. And there were like some bets and stuff, and there were like many millions where they came out that they won, like during this time of games where they just threw the games and they are winning money out of it. And I think I'm like... Yeah. That's what I mean, like, I think it's kind of shady in that sense that people can just do that, you know, and it's not getting punished. They're not getting, like, to jail or whatsoever. It's not... Yeah. And, like, in that sense, I'm, like, I have it in my mind that some teams could do it, but in the final, I hope no one will... Yeah,
hopefully the right teams are there to not get it done. And what was it like for you during that Belgrade event? Because, obviously, it was a decent stack of tier 2 teams, but, like, this was... this was kind of like literally down to the last day before the invites go out. What can you get done? What can you do? Like, what was the mentality you and the team needed to have to go through that?
I remember it clearly as it was today, actually. Like these games, I remember so good because we didn't underestimate anyone. There was the first game, or the first team which we have played, they were not even a team. As I mentioned before, like we could have just signed to this tournament, and they did it. Like there were 5 players, they had no jerseys, they were like literally just players who attended a big tournament with big players. And we were like, we don't underestimate them. They can be faced at level 5. We don't care. We just play our game. So we did it. You know, like in the first day we played against them, like unknowns basically.
You bullied them, man. I'm just looking at the score.
BlameF 39 and 5.
So we just we're fully focused on them. You know, that was our mentality basically. So in that it was really important also to show it. You know, like hey, we don't take it on the shoulder basically. So. Yeah.
But you played some really close games in this tournament.
Yes.
Really close, like all the way to the final.
Not gonna lie, to this day, my team still tells me that, but against Zero Tenacity, we were losing 11-7 on Nuke. And I remember where I have the turning point to the game where I had an AWP. I usually don't play AWP, but at that time I had an AWP.
There we go.
You remember? Yes. And I made a really important 3K in the bottom spot on Nuke, like on the B-bomb side. And from that time we turned it, but like it was so close that we lose to 0. It was at that time X0 Tenacity.
Yeah.
There was not even like a. It was like a. I don't know, like you know, like everyone is trying to obviously improve and play for everything, but amazingly close how everything could have been different.
And then you played Magic as well, kind of like someone who's kind of bursted up to the scene recently. Also very close kind of series. Maybe not the first map, but second map, 13-11. But that you have to tell us like about that FaZe game though. Like how it was losing the first map, 13-3. Going into the second map, I was watching this. This was pretty late at night, if I remember correctly. How was that game for you guys? What did you go through in that game?
After the first game, after the first map, I remember on Dust 2 where we got clapped. Like we had no chance, literally no chance. Like it felt like for us on the server, it felt like they were doing a B split on Dust 2. Their T side were doing a B split, but in reality. It was one going out middle, one holding long push, one holding short push, and one holding B push. Oh. But it felt like for us, you know, like everything was like so clumped up that everything felt amazing what they have done. And after that we got clumped, we were like, hey guys, what just happened? We were laughing basically, you know, like what can we do? Like we had no chance, literally no chance. We were laughing, but in the end we said like, guys, we still qualified for the major. You know, like we have no pressure basically. Let's just enjoy ourselves. So that's what we did. On Overpass, we just enjoyed more ourselves. You know, like we were just in the moment. We were not thinking about something else. And in the moment we were again this unit, because I remember again, this game was also very close. It was like 13-11 or something. So again, it would have been completely different, and they would have maybe made the major. So it was for us like we don't want to give them the major. It wasn't like that. It was like more let's just at least show ourselves we can like beat FaZe in the grand final. So it's a huge game for us as well, right? So being in the grand final against FaZe Clan, it's like in 2026, it's a huge game for us as a big clan.
Did you notice a difference in the team though? Like once you guys knew you qualified, did you see that maybe like some of that hunger had gone when you're in the server? Like what you were talking about, how you guys wanted to play so much, obviously believe in it, because obviously you've hit the goal, right? And sometimes when you hit the goal, it's hard to keep going.
Respectfully and gratefully, I didn't see that at all. Like we were really hungry, you know, for this tournament. I remember also it was my birthday at that time, you know, it was exactly that day where I qualified to the major, and everyone was like, even though we won against Magic, we want to make it like 10 out of 10, like win this tournament, you know, like it will be this tournament for us. Changing point, we qualified to the major, we win against FaZe Clan in the grand final, and like everything was like wonderful at that time. So I really respect and appreciate also what you just mentioned. It's just way easier if you achieve something to just let it go. You know, at that time,
We've seen it
were
many
really hungry.
times.
Yes.
We've seen it many times. And then looking at this then, right? So you guys qualify for Cologne Major and you guys didn't expect it as a team. How important is this for Big? Because I'll tell you this, I've been Cologne many years. The last couple of years I've been there. And even when you guys are not there, there are German guys with a Big Clan t-shirt on. You guys often come out. There's the Big Clan party with Red Bull, right? Which is one of your partners. So it's like, this is your country. This is an important event for you guys. But now you've actually done it. You've made the major. Like, it can't get better than this, right?
I mean, you can if you reach the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So you can use that glow-in-the-dark jersey that you announced, right?
Exactly. Yes, and it will hopefully look amazing. But as you said, like for us as an organization, it's the dream come true. You know, like for all German fans who loves Counter-Strike and who are really a little bit part of Big Clan, who like watched our path and stuff, they all know what Cologne means to us. In 2018, we were lucky enough to be in the final. We didn't win it, but still like experiencing this kind of event with this kind of people all over the world, just enjoying Counter-Strike, being in probably one of the most, if not the best arena in Counter-Strike. I think for us as an organization to represent Germany and also Big Clan is just amazing. And I know for a fact that this Cologne will be probably the best we have ever intended. It's a major. Everyone has been waiting for that Cologne gets the major again. Now it's time. I think hopefully the weather will be nice. You know, everyone will just enjoy themselves.
Should be this time of year for Germany. Should be good.
It's
Yes.
like a heat wave during the Cologne events.
Yes.
But
So-
I mean, even as a neutral, you want Big Clan to do well because it doesn't matter what country, if it's a Brazil major or, you know, whatever, you want a Brazilian team in playoff. And exactly for Cologne now, we want this German core of Big to be at the playoff as a neutral fan because it will spark the arena. Like, it will be fucking intense if that happens.
It really would. And let's actually look at this then, right? So, Big Clan now, you've made the major. You're sitting on the VRS, let me just check, 27th as of right now, as of today. But doing well here, going past stage 1, going into stage 2, like making playoffs, for example, that would set you guys up so well for all the future events, right? So how important does the major feel now compared to what a normal major felt like in the past? Is it even more so than that because it adds on this extra level for you guys?
To be fair, no, because we know there are many opportunities to get back really fast again. Like this major is more like we want to prove ourselves that we practice for 6 months now and we are able to hopefully play with the very best, you know? And that's what we are looking for, to hopefully get stage 1 done, get second stage done, and stage 3 where there will be viewers, not the big arena, but still viewers in Germany maybe supporting us. Anything can be done, you know? And this is something we are looking for, that we just prove ourselves that we belong to the third stage. After that, everything can happen. And I truly believe that we have it in us, that we can make it to the stage 3 for sure.
I kind of wanted also to ask about like BlameF, who came in, you know, because he has such an interesting profile, you know. He's been considered, you know, a really, really great player for so many years. But in terms of like major attendance, he only has 3, I think, in his career. Comparably to, I mean, you've been there 10 times or something along those lines. How key is it to have someone who maybe, you know, wants to go to the major so bad, but still has the profile that BlameF has to be in your team? He's probably very hungry to prove himself in a weird way. But you know what I mean? Like, how important is it and how influential has BlameF been for this team as you've progressed into this stage of the major?
For me as a player in this team, he's a blessing. It's just like not only the way how he is, but as you just mentioned, he's very hungry. He plays so much. Even though he's preparing for the team, I've been an in-game leader myself. I know exactly what he's doing and how he is capable of shooting. It reminds me even what you have talked about myself back in the days. much more than now. Like he is playing for 2 players almost. Like what he is hitting is out of this world as an in-game leader, in my point of view. Obviously, he's not maybe the guy who's micromanaging a lot, but he doesn't have to. We are thinking for ourselves, and what he brings to the table is just you cannot. It was the best decision we have done in the last couple of maybe 10 years in BIG.
Wow.
Like this guy is definitely golden for us. Like he has changed tables, he has changed personalities in the team. He just the way how he is just inspiring, you know. Like I just started to run because of him, basically, you know.
Oh,
like
he's got you on the fit and healthy grind. Yeah,
yes,
let's
exactly,
go.
you know. And I know what he is capable of, just being how he is, and I'm just looking forward to enjoy it a little bit more, just get a little bit more used to each other, you know. And he's a fucking nice guy. He's a crazy guy to have him around, you know. But you know, if he's around, he's just a good guy to have around. And as I said before, like his firepower, I have seen Xantares play in his best time.
Yeah.
I have seen now BlameF playing with me for this kind of time. I see definitely similarities in impact kills. Like he kills, as I said, for 2 players. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like he is amazing. And as I said, like as a human being, if you just follow him a little bit in his journey and stuff, you can just like this guy. He's athletic, he's really handsome, he's humble, he's amazingly good at this game, you know, like I'm just really happy to have him in my team, really.
And
That's
do you
incredible.
I got to look at this in some detail of how Big ended up with BlameF. Like, did you go out to him? Did a conversation happen where you said you wanted him to be the leader of the team? Like, what did it look like when you guys were trying to bring him on board?
In the very beginning, we had conversations with myself and in general the team, and we had like open talks, like what will happen potentially with the old roster. And I said immediately, guys, look, you definitely need to also think about changing me as an IGL. Like I've been so long for an IGL, and it just didn't work out the last couple of years. But I know I'm capable of like being in a part of a team. I know I can bring something to the table, which brings to the brings something to the table that we can make it to the top. I know I can be sacrificial. I know I can do anything for the team to make us look good or make us win. And that's what the management basically, or the organization, needed to decide for themselves. If they want to keep me as a player or as an in-game leader or whatsoever, that decision needed to be done first. So they decided, let's also open up the market, because now we have more opportunities, right? And at that time, BlameF was not maybe happy with the situation with Fnatic, because I don't know how they handled the situation with Cypher and stuff. I think he didn't really like it. And also on top,
a lot of us didn't.
Understandable, but for him also, it was also like, maybe I need something else now in my career at that point, you know, like I'm looking forward to be a leader. I'm looking forward to have a group of people who follow me to the death, basically, and who really are soldiers in that sense, you know, like who are really going with me to that point where I need you to be with me. And he was looking for a group basically willing to sacrifice, doing everything for him, and gladly he should have chosen us, because I'm here for him basically. If he says something, I know how he feels, because I was an in-game leader myself for a long time, and I know how he feels. So it's my job to make everyone basically feel, like as I said before, like more happy, more enjoyable, you know. And I'm just happy that he has chosen us in that sense. He had many different offers, but
I'm sure
he considered us being his next project and being with us, and like I'm grateful. You know, like, it goes hand in hand.
Brilliant.
We opened a door for him, because it's also a kind of a risk for us as an organization to take a guy who has maybe not called for a long time. Last time he has called was in Astralis, right? So it's been a longer time now. But we felt definitely the emphasis, or like something that he has, like he was shining when he was talking about the project. He was shining when he was talking about himself being an IGL, being a team captain and stuff. So I was just sitting there enjoying listening to this guy, because I was a captain myself, so I needed to give him this opportunity to make me feel I want to go with you everywhere, and that he had done.
So
definitely
with BlameF coming in, like obviously you've changed, you know, your role and what you do in the serve. You've talked about being more sacrificial. I mean, if I just quickly looked at tabseN statistics past 3 months, And if you look at this is a very unique combination of bars in that, it's entering and utility. 88 utility and 75 entering. It's a very unique kind of combination to have. How is that for you in game now, with obviously you having to shift the roles around? It's very, I don't know, explain, what am I seeing here? What are these stats saying?
It's definitely right now getting into a system where everyone has to do a little bit more of everything, so to say. But in the very beginning, this 3 months, I would say for me it was, hey, can go someone here? Yes, I will be the guy. I will go. Can someone throw this flash? Yes, I will be the guy. I will throw. So basically, it was just whoever asked for something, it was always me doing it. But like with, if you ask someone to do it, but the guy who you asked doesn't really want to do it, it's like you rather not ask him again, But if you have a guy who says, of course, let me do it, I will do it with love, let me jump through the smoke for you, whatsoever, then it created an environment where everyone felt like it's good how it is right now, but we need to kind of still support it in a sense that it doesn't happen all the way like that. So we are going into the right direction, but for me right now, I just enjoy it. Sometimes I'm being the entry, sometimes I throw flashes, but sometimes I die and I enjoy looking the others clutched around because they are so unique. I would, for example, never play a clutch like, for example, let's say JDC or someone, but experiencing that in a sense is like kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's one thing I want to touch on then with this whole move with having BlameF as well. Obviously, so much of the community used to love to say, "Oh, it's BlameF," and like he can't be that good. You're obviously very positive about what he's done, but like, was there any worries about that before he joined, or were you just aware that is just like community thought? Because I always had this, I guess, mindset where players would maybe have not as many offers given to them just because community have some stupid words, or people are always saying this, analysts, anything else like that, So was there ever any worries before him joining?
For me personally, no, because I understand the way he plays is just a lot of impact. Even if he has no impact, maybe for a round, he will have like the 9 other rounds a lot of impact. And I would say the community, they don't watch the games in details how we do it. Like if you just watch one Skybox demo, you will understand that one of the rounds he might bait, but the 10 out of the other rounds he doesn't bait, they don't see it. So they will not mention it. But maybe the other, like the community, they will draw a picture, and the picture will stay for a long, long time, and you cannot basically change it in their eyes. It doesn't matter how you perform. So in that sense, where BlameF basically, he was called. Even in Fnatic, he was entering at some point. I was looking up the stats. He was aggressive, more aggressive than all the other players in that team, and they really don't put the work into them. So it's kind of also sad that a player like of this caliber gets put into a closet or whatsoever, and it's like all in a bubble where you cannot put him really out of it. But obviously, I felt it myself in the very first beginning of a team. He was more of a passive guy, and he gives himself more duels, which he has more advantage with, right? But he just wins the duels more often. So if I would be in his shoes, I would definitely do it as well. Like I would just kill more people. And if you kill more people, you win the game.
It's also, I think, sometimes the community kind of misunderstands, and baiting is always a negative term, so to speak, but in reality it's a tool that Counter-Strike players and Counter-Strike teams use to ensure a certain outcome. Like if I bait for you and you're under balcony on Mirage, and you get 2 kills, I mean, it's a tool you use to win rounds as well. It's not only, a face it pug and someone baits and runs away and gets you killed. Like, that's not the only outcome that can happen, because I feel like people misunderstand this and just clump it into only the negative part of baiting. But baiting is a good tool that every good Counter-Strike team in the world uses. And BlameF is good at that. He's excellent at getting baited for because he is so consistent with his aim, he's so sharp with his shooting, that he's kind of been put in those positions because he's the best executor of that skill. Does that would you agree with that?
In some sort, yes, definitely. Like as you said before, like if a guy who can clearly shoot better than the other, like for example, like me, why would I give myself the opportunity to have a fair duel if I know if I give Ben the fair duel, he will win 7 out of 10 times the duel, and if I do it, I maybe win it like five out of 10 times, then I would give it always to him, you know. And
Yeah.
like for me as a teammate, like I don't really care who makes the kills. For me, it's most important that we have 13 rounds basically, and that's the same for him. He is never taking care of stats, or he's never mentioning anything or something. He's also very, like, I was very surprised with his behavior, really not gonna lie, because he's also, I know myself as an in-game leader, when you criticize people, you sometimes don't criticize yourself in that sense. And with him, it feels like he's also very harsh to himself. He knows when he fucks up. He is immediately saying, "Hey, it was my bad, guys. I need to do better here and there." So like he's a nice role model to have in that sense. And like all this baiting and stuff is definitely a skill as well, for sure.
Yeah. And we've
All about
talked
timing.
we've talked a lot about, BlameF, but there's obviously another guy that has recently joined your team, and that is Grix, who has been performing
Oh, yes.
very, very well. Can you tell me a little bit more about Grix as a person, player, how to have him around and get into the team, how his growth has been during this time, just so people get maybe a little bit better overview of who is this Grix guy, and how has it been working with him?
Knowing Griggs now as a person is now way easier than before. He has improved so much in every sense, like in game, outside of the game. And first of all, I need to respect and fully respect and also appreciate the effort someone is doing for his dreams. Like he left his childhood, basically. He left his like home to be a professional player, to travel around the world. It's not an easy thing to do. So I have
No.
fully respect on that, and he's clearly showing it every single day with his motivation, his hunger, and the will to improve every single day. And the unique thing I would say about Gleb is not only the shooting. Obviously, he is insanely good mechanically wise in the game, but it's more about the details he likes to be around with. Like he likes to have the small things, like, do I need to change maybe this small thing? When you watch a overview demo, you don't even see the difference, but it makes for him the most difference. And having these kind of players around the team, everything just adds up really easy. Like you have Griggs, who puts so much effort into the op. He knows, I need to take this duel, I need to position myself like this, I could use this flash to make myself easier. So everything involves like to have a really, really nice environment in the team where everyone knows exactly that everyone has this role. If you fulfill this role, we can be very successful. And this was again a very huge turning point with Ben. Like whenever he came to the team, everything has changed, because Griggs came to big, where we didn't play with BlameF in the very beginning. We have played with Freeze as an in-game leader, where he was interim caller and stuff. We didn't even know where we end up with. And he came from an environment where he was playing for Heroic in a team system where no one really has too much to say about. You are a part of a team and you do your job. But for us now, it's like we have Griggs. He's like, for me, it was only one player who has the same skill set I've ever played with. It was xenn at the time, where 2020, where he was top 10 upper in the, like top 4 upper in the world, where he was shooting really, really good, but not like mechanically wise, of course, as well. But Griggs is, for me, comparison, like when I watch him play, I see similarities with like Monesi, like all these kind of players who are like really flashy, really insane. And having this kind of player in the team, you have like how do you say, like self-saying rounds, where he says, hey, can I do this? Yeah, of course. Boom, entry.
Yeah.
He's just so good, right? And we would be bad if we are not using. That's why, again, BlameF is like really good at adapting, and like the mix up with both in the team is like really nice to have. And Griggs is just, I'm really, again, like I can just say good things about my team because they are all lovely people, and having them around, like it's just having a nice time.
Would you tell us the bad if there was some?
Of course I would,
Okay,
but at
yeah.
the time, like everything's like, again, like we could call it honeymoon, but it's now 6 months. We enjoy
Yeah.
ourselves a lot. We are winning games because we are good at the game as well, and like just having people around with the same mindset, following one goal to be successful in something is like the best feeling ever, because you can be harsh to yourself, you can be harsh to your teammate. They will never take it bad because you criticize the player, not the human being as well. And like it's just nice that everyone wants to like improve and work really hard.
And how is Grix on terms of communication? Because I know obviously, like you said, he already played for Heroic, but he was mainly playing on CIS-based teams, right? So like, how is it in that when he wants to make the calls for himself, when he's jumping into fast communication with you guys at this stage of the team?
It's going better and better. Like he's, again, I can just say respect because not many players will do that. He lives in a foreign country. He needs to have his English skills as good as he can. So what he's doing, he's learning English by himself. So
Oh, nice.
again, he's very young, he's trying to improve every single day, and like he will do very good, and eventually it will be his second mother tongue, maybe. You never know.
There we go. There we go. And obviously we got to go through the rest of the team while we're doing this,
Yeah.
right? JDC is the longest member on the team other than you, right? He's been on a long way of this. I
Just
remember
7 years
when you first
shorter.
Yeah, just 7 years. But I remember like JDC coming in and kind of hitting the ground running, then a lot of change, and now he seems to be comfortable again, and he's a player who's very well spoken, but I feel like he would do anything for the team as well. Is it still that way? Does he get a lot of freedom within this team still?
Absolutely. It's exactly what you said. This guy, he will do anything for the team, for the success. He puts the team above himself. Like, if we need to do something not nice for him, and he knows it's for the greater good, he will do it with love, And
Yeah.
right now, again, like we have really good pieces of really good pieces in the team because we give a lot of freedom. Ben is doing a very good job with that. So JDC has a lot of freedom, and he can do whatever he wants basically with this help from me, from Gleb, from Ben, from Josef, from all. Like if one is doing or like wants to do something nice, we try to make him even more nicer. Like we try to enable these players, and I really appreciate also John. His like passion to the game is outrageous. He's doing every day 1K of deathmatch kills. He's like putting so much work into the game, and also the will to improve and being like open-minded. It's not easy. Not gonna lie, everyone thinks he's the best player in the world in his eyes. But being around 4 very good players, you need to also be able to live with the other, like being in a nice relationship with each other. And he's doing a very amazing job with that. He's like such a amazing piece to have in a team. Like very nice guy.
And I kind of also want to, I mean, you've talked about Josef a little bit, faveN, previously, but when I looked at him when he was back in 9, I was actually really impressed with the level of his lurking, the level of his clutch ability, because I didn't see him for quite a while, and now he's kind of made a resurgence again as a player. How much has his experience, driven the success of this newly formed big as well? Because he is a very, I assume, experienced guy that moves players around, talks very like a lot during rounds. That's what I've seen. I don't know. You have to confirm or deny this. But please talk about faveN for me.
Yeah, for me, it's 2 completely different worlds. Where I have played before him with him in big, then we decided to let him go. Then he joined 9 and Bleed and whatsoever. He has different paths, right? But whenever he came back, he was definitely way more matured. Like obviously he has changed also in his life and stuff. He
become a father.
Become a father is exactly so. It's like a huge responsibility in that as well, right? So I understood immediately when I first talked with him, he has changed completely. Like he knows now if something bothers him, he can say it. He's like he's changing it, like he's solution oriented and stuff. But he's still not that faveN I know what you know, Devilwalk, because like for me and what we need him the most in our team is to be a very good pillar of the team. We need to rely on him, but if he says something, it has a lot of weight because he is usually the more quiet guy. He's more the supportive guy. He's more the sacrificial guy as well because we don't have so much room to play around. We have 3 room players, like playmakers on the map. We both need to be pillars on the team. They need to rely on us. If something goes bad, we have the team basically. And without him, the team would not exist. Not gonna lie. Like we both back each other up so hard that without him, it would never work this way. Like this big basically. If we would replace him, it would never work. So I'm really grateful that I have him in my team because for me, Josef is for me basically my back pillar. I know if I have a bad day, I have, thanks God, one more pillar around who like lifts up the team, you know, who lifts my morals, my standards, who makes me accountable of something. And like as I said again, like we have really good pieces in the team where everyone knows what role needs to be done, and we hold each other accountable for doing it and not doing it. And it's like very healthy environment.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
Exactly, again, one more thing, sorry to forget.
No,
of course,
go.
Like, having faveN in the team, now being a father, I know for myself, this guy doesn't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Like, you have a
Yeah.
child around, you know, you want to be part of growing him up, seeing him grow or whatsoever. So I know when we fuck around, it's not about, like, wasting time, basically, you know, it's like getting the job done, focus on the next thing, and be back to the family and stuff. So
Yeah.
I appreciate also a lot that the wife of Josef is taking so good of the family, you know, that he can full focus about the Counter-Strike journey and stuff. So I just really happy that this type of guy is in my team because I know he could be also somewhere else.
It's not easy at all. Definitely not easy. That's why I disappeared halfway when you were answering the question because my son just had his vaccination. So he is not a happy boy right now. He is kicking off. But I want to also touch now about your coaching situation because for Big, it was trying to find the right coach for a long time. I remember meeting xenn, and I'm just checking on the dates here, but it was like, I think it was 2025, Katowice at the time. We're not Krakow then, Katowice. And I remember speaking to him and seeing what he was doing with the team. He'd come from ATAX, but he kind of went on this journey of like, was your coach, was assistant coach, then went to the academy, and then came through as the coach for you guys. So why did you decide on him as the coach for this team? Like, what was it, the qualities that he had that made him the right fit than maybe a more experienced coach or something like that?
I would say xenn brings a lot of structure in the team, which we had probably with the other coaches not. That's why he was always the assistant coach to back up the coach with his strengths, basically. He was very good at taking care of like the statistic stuff and stuff, taking care of documents, calendars, being really good, people around with you can talk about something, you know, like he's a very emotional intelligence coach as well. So he brings a lot of positive, mindful skills to have around in a team, which improves the environment completely. Like not only working wise, but also like people behaving wise. You know, like he's a very matured person who you can have fun with, but you know when it gets serious basically. Yeah. And this is something which was the very most crucial point for us, I would say, in Big. But I think overall, like the decisions we have made with changing a lot of coaches and stuff back and forth, he's coach now, he's there. It's like, I think it goes hand in hand with the completely years where we had no success, where we had no belief anymore in the system, belief in more in the environment we have created. So there were like a lot of misbelief or disbelief in the team, which creates like, I would say not the very best environment to have around, you know, and that at some point the organization needs to make decisions based on what's happening within the team, and hopefully it will work at some point. But I can say only, like, we had really, really good coaches. For example, Kakafu was really good for the team we had. Also, we qualified to the major with him and stuff. He's now doing a very good job at Monte. And like for me personally, he did a very good job in BIG. And I was also, again, like some, like, how do you say it, like misunderstandings, maybe some miscommunications, and also disbelief and stuff, you know. So this creates a lot of not good environments, vibes around too. So at some point, yeah, someone has to go. That's how it is, unfortunate in a competitive environment.
So in terms of that, then, with more of the structure being focused on by xenn, what is it that tiziaN's doing these days? And how is he backing you guys up?
tiziaN is like a very helpful hand for the players, but also a very cool guy to have around. Like, you know, if tiziaN is around, you have a good time. Like
He's always got a good attitude.
Exactly, a very happy attitude, like cool guy to have around, but also you cannot deny the experience he has. He was a top team with me. We created a top tier team, right? He was one of the best anchors, most sacrificial player I've ever played with. So he knows exactly where I am and Josef is coming from. He supports us in a way where we will get maybe acknowledgement from him, you know, like it's the small things he sees maybe which someone else doesn't see because of the bigger picture and stuff. So he puts way more details into these kind of small things for the players, which helps us to feel better again, to have maybe more preparation on the positions and stuff.
Nice. Really positive. And so you guys seem to have it all figured out right now in terms of this team, what big looks like, how you want to play. So let's talk about the realistic expectations now for Cologne and where you guys are at, because Cologne, I don't know if you've seen it, but everyone is putting like Big Clan 3-0. Big Clan's going to do really well here. Like there's different expectations on this Big Clan right now than we've had in recent times. What do you make of that? Because people are seeing a lot of these positives. Like what, if anyone's watching this and they maybe don't follow like community talent and stuff like that, everyone is so positive on Big Clan. So what tabseN's saying makes sense to what we are seeing and what the community thinks. But is it strange for you to see so much like of that belief in the team and that even from the outside?
To be fair, it's not strange to see, but it's like always like if there's an upcoming team or like a team which is maybe performing a little better, there's like people jumping on the train, right? So I think like it's exactly what's happening right now. I think like people really put us under the radar for a longer time. Now when even when we won these tournaments, people didn't really think about us at some point. But like now when we qualified, they maybe put the research it again. They was like, oh yeah, big blah blah blah. But they still say, yeah, we didn't beat many good teams. You know, like it's understandable, and they were right, of course. But I mean, we are an upcoming team, and
yeah, but now you're experts at street fighting.
yes, true that. So I think, for example, also stage 1 and stage 2, it will be more like a street fight. You know, like it's like teams where they're not attending every huge tier 1 LAN. There are teams who are fighting for their lives, and this is exactly the environment we want to be at because we played many, many times there. And for me, the real expectation, Banks, is for me, yeah, for sure stage 1, for sure stage 2. If you manage to get to stage 3 and having a good form, because like doing stage 1 and to stage 2, it's already exhausting. Like it will be exhausting for sure. Having the time and the quality and the energy to maintain stage 3, hopefully with some viewers in there, you know, supporting us in the locals. Anything can happen, but I know also for a fact stage 1 could be over very fast. We could be out, you know, because every team is very good in there. But I know for a fact that we practice very hard. Like it was probably the most intense time I've had in a long, long time. We had like an online bootcamp before a bootcamp. Now we are kind of really good prepared for this. So I don't want to jinx it, you know, but I truly believe that like we can get to stage 3.
You know, it's classic, right? Old, big. Obviously, they used to live together, but like even after that, we would see you guys on the online events, and it was always in the office, right? In the bootcamp facility that Big has. Has that kind of been similar? Have you guys been spending a lot of time at bootcamp, and it's been a big focus?
Not anymore that much, to be fair. Like we have bootcamps and stuff. Like for us, it's as an organization, it's also mandatory to have people around here sometimes to create content, also to create an environment how they see workers they never see. You know, like there are people who are supporting the team, they don't even know they exist. So it's also nice to get them in touch a little bit to get to know each other and stuff. But in general, it's not mandatory to be in Berlin. But we have created an environment where people want to be here at some point. You know, they say like, hey, it's an important online tournament. Let me be in Berlin. Let me play from there. I cannot get distracted from my normal duties basically and stuff. So we have created something very nice, and hopefully there will be times where we will be more often in Berlin to maybe potentially play a different tournament in Germany. You never know. Or, you know, so having another bootcamp here to prepare for a very huge tournament. So hopefully there will be better times, or like very good times like right now.
Have you
Awesome.
have you done pick'ems for stage 1?
I have not done pick'ems, no.
Have you not done pick'ems? Okay.
No.
But
All right, well, we
would-
we gotta find out. We've been asking everyone that's come on to do the major bit. What would tabseN's
if you would do a
pick'ems look like?
simulator here, like a pick'em simulator on HLTV, they have it right for stage 1.
Do they have it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you
yep.
go to the stage 1. You
Yeah.
scroll down, you see, you know, the group play, and over there you have simulator pick'ems on top right of group play.
Simulator pick'em. Yes. Yes. Okay.
How would you do your pick'ems here?
Okay. I would put my big S30.
Big as 3-0?
Yep.
Yes. But can I not move it? No, it's just.
Oh,
You need
that
to,
is
basically
not-
you need to click each result on the simulator, so it's not the same as like what you do on Valve.
But maybe you need to be logged in to do this.
Maybe. Okay, doesn't matter, but I have the logos and stuff now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can. Okay, so I would put big and 3-0, definitely. And I would put heroic in 3-0.
All right.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
why
think-
heroic? Because you lost to them recently, or you practiced them?
No, I just think in general they have also a cool team. I think they're also very hungry. They want to really improve themselves. I think also they had a bootcamp before. They are also playing right now a tournament. I think youngster is getting more used to the AWP and stuff. So I think they had also recently a lot of like internal changes. You know, they need to get used to it a little bit more. And I think they are just a good team also for sure.
Okay. Then what other 6 teams would you put in 3-1, 3-2?
I would definitely put 3-1 Bedboom.
Yep.
Yep.
I would put MIBR in 3-1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In 3-2, I would put Gamer Legion,
Yep.
Bait,
Yep.
M80.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then one more.
One more 3-1 team.
One more 3-1 team.
Yeah.
I think you only said 2 3-1
He
teams.
did only say 2. Yeah,
Yes,
I've been
yes,
counting. I've got one more.
I said
What do you think of-
Bedboom, MIBR.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he didn't say Betboom. There we go. The Betboom's the extra one.
No, no,
I
no.
don't think he said Betboom.
He
Did
said
he?
Bedboom, MIBR 3-1,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And Gamer Legion. Well, that was 3-2.
That was 3-2.
Gamer
Okay.
Legion was 3-2, yes. Gamer Legion 3-2, Tyloo M80 3-2. Okay, then we put 3-1. Am I missing someone? No.
If Sinner's in
I think-
there, maybe. Tyloo.
Okay, let's say, we put Gamer Legion 3-1. So it's
Yep.
Bedboom, MIBR, Gamer Legion 3-1.
Yeah.
Yep.
We put 3-2, M80,
Bait.
Bait, and
Yep.
one more.
One
And
more.
It has to be, I would say, Tyloo.
Let's
Tyloo.
go. Another one for the Tyloo.
You can skip the 0-3 if you don't want to do them. Because that could be a jinxer. Maybe. And give
Yes, we're not gonna do them.
Hey,
a good
he's
one.
not going to do the hard part. You let him escape. You let him escape. And because we got some Q&A questions as well from the community for you as well, tabseN. But before we get to that, one thing I want to look at is across your career, you've been in Cologne 3 times. Yeah, you've had 2nd place 2018, 9th to 12th in 2019, and then top 8 in 2021. You haven't been back for 5 years. What would you like to say to like the German community, the people who have supported and followed your career the whole time, just the fact that you're back at Cologne, it's a major, just anything you'd like to say to everyone who has been supporting Big this whole time through everything?
First of all, it's a milestone. Like when you say it out loud that much, that we have been, that I've been to 3 times Cologne, it feels definitely way more often, you know. Like it's
because you're there every year anyway.
yes, exactly. But every year of Cologne is just unbelievable. It's a mystery feeling to be around. You know, you feel sparks around, and you feel that something nice will happen at this event. And every year when I'm attending, I'm really hoping that I can contribute something that it makes us as a Germans feel very nice, you know, like that we have something to remind us ourselves why we are doing it. And 2018 was this kind of a time where we did something no one ever believed in. We can do it, basically. And right now for me it's the same. Like, people didn't expect us to qualify for the major. People will never expect us to be in playoffs. So it's the same for me again, that I don't really pay so much attention what the outside says. It's more about the inside. It's more about us being at that time, being around ourselves. We will have our backs, but the fans, they need to support us. In that sense that negativity is alright, but in a sense where it's like healthy criticism, you know, like where people don't really say the worst meaning stuff, but it's more like that, hey, you just fucked up one time, it's okay, but we have your back as well, because we are in it as well. And for us, for a long time, I felt this support, and now recently I feel it again as well, because people have again this believement, and this they enjoy ourselves as well in the vlogs which we record with the organizations, that they see we are likable, you know, we are a really nice group of people, and we will definitely show it in Cologne as well, that hopefully it will be a really long journey for us, and we will hopefully gain a lot of new fans, new friends, new likewise people in the environment where we deserve to be there, like everyone other ones, you know, and hopefully we'll make a really nice time there, like a life-changing time, you know. That's what I'm looking for.
Hell yeah. All right, so let's go on to the Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go on to the Q&A. So the first question we have is from Skorga, and he says, "Hi Johannes. Firstly, congratulations on transitioning through so many metas of the game and through so many different roles. As someone who has been on Big Clan for 9.5 years, please don't retire before 10. He's not retiring anytime soon. Surely not. Will a home major be your biggest tournament yet? Or is there another tournament you look back on as a bigger than Cologne 2026? Ooh, good question.
Oh, good question now. Well, Cologne, like thinking just about the Cologne and the major itself, is definitely one of the biggest tournament I've ever attended. Like, it has to be. Like, I grew up in Cologne, you know, like in Germany, like having this kind of tournament. Like, as I said before, I've been in the final in Cologne 2018. It was already, for me, it was probably the best tournament itself, but we can create something bigger. You know, like there's a room to improve. There's the final. We can win a tournament. Yeah. Imagine being a major winner in Cologne. It could be nice, definitely.
Yeah.
But I feel for me, for example, as a individual player, for me was definitely 2017 just qualifying for the for the FaZe major, basically. It was also for me one of the biggest we have attended and achieved for me as a player. But Cologne 2026 major in Cologne will be the one.
Awesome.
Okay.
Devil, next question.
Next question is from Pulsar, and he says, "What was it like playing for .pixels back in 2012/13? And how different was your playstyle then to now?"
Okay, .pixels, it was actually 13 years ago, even longer now, yeah. It's crazy to just think about it. But the game at that time, it was awful. Like,
it was running and shooting a lot.
Yes, it was just awful. When I think about how the map looked like, for example, trains, it was not playable. It was just bad. But as a player myself, when I see myself, like at that time, I was just young, stupid, kiddo, you know, like just enjoying the game, just not thinking about what could happen. I was just playing the game, what happens in front of me, basically. Like the most enjoyable part of the game, probably. Just not to think, just to play the game. And just to shoot heads, just to run around and enjoy the game. But it's funny that people like from that time still like remind me of like how old I am now and how long I've been playing for.
Yeah.
All right, next question in there is from Cube. He says, after letting go of the IGL role and starting to focus on yourself, are there any plans ever to return to being an IGL? Also, has being a coach after your player career ever been a consideration?
I think I definitely see myself like as not like as a leader or something, but I really like to have responsibilities, you know, like I think I can like live with that easily. I know what needs to be done basically. So I can see myself doing any type of IGLing or like second IGLing or taking a lot of responsibility within the team. Definitely can see that. I learned a lot, again, a lot of experiences from my past now when I was not IGLing, from FaZe, from BlameF, from xenn as the head coach. Like it's a lot of experiences and opinions and opportunities to be even better and better, and therefore I would not rule it out, definitely. And like having a career after my career basically as a coach, to be fair, as I said before, like I like to have responsibilities. I like to work around the team, you know, like I like the environment basically. I definitely see myself as a coach at some point, but I hope it will be not like in the next years, you know, like I definitely know I
many
can be
years
a player.
in the future.
Hopefully, yes, you never know what will happen, but hopefully many years, because I'm not done as a player and I know I'm capable of doing more and I need to show it and deliver.
Actually, off the back of what he was saying there, right? You're saying you like the responsibility. Are you like the second caller, the second voice in the team, at present?
I think in this team right now, there's like many people have voices, but if there's like silentness and stuff, and if I give some recommendations, of course, then it will be heard. But it's more about like also outside of the game, you know, like preparing stuff and preparing like for the next game, just trying to improve here, details and stuff. So this went totally gone like from my side now. Like I'm not doing any kind of like this, you know, but like anti-threatening and stuff, like it's a joy to do. But of course, like if there needs to be someone who's making a call, it doesn't matter who it is, we will always listen, and it's just a nice environment to have. Like it's not he's a caller, he's a second caller. It's sometimes even Ben is not even making a call because someone else is making a call, and we enable this call basically. That's the priorities we have set in the team.
Okay, this is from what I assume is a German guy named Beatzig.
I want you to be able to try and say the German devil, please.
Hey Johannes, is this the best lineup you've ever played with in Big? He also asked, and what makes it special? Nur Liebe.
Oh, nice. 100% it's the best lineup I have ever played in Big. 100% individually wise, for sure. Like I have people in this team right now, they are capable of winning the round by themselves, for sure, 100%. We were one of the best teams in the world at that time with BIG back then, but it was more about like we didn't have the best individually skilled players, but we made it work as a team basically. And it's right now kind of the same.
The preparing,
exactly, like this kind of thing was which made us good at that time. But right now we have, I would say, the best individually 5 skilled players we ever had in BIG. Like if I'm the worst player in Big, that means something, I would say. That means
that's a pretty yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You're the worst.
To phrase it.
Yeah.
How's the German, by the way?
Very good, yeah.
All right, I'm going to try the German next. Mine's going to be terrible. I'm very British. Here we go.
Hello.
Floggy says, hello, Johannes. Do you think a major winning full German team would be possible currently? There's a huge amount of high elo Germans on FaceIt, but a lack of them in the pro scene. Why is that? And he says, oh my God, why is mine so long? Hab dich lieb, Bruder, du bist... Shut up, man. Der Gelesti. You try it, Devil.
Yeah.
I am so...
Okay. Hab dich
Hey,
lieb,
understood it.
Brüder, du bist der Geleist.
Geilste.
Geilste.
Probably.
Geilste.
Yeah. Good German from both of you, actually. I understand both.
Wait.
But the answer, the hard reality is no. It's the truth. It's not even about having skilled players. I think after, as I said before, like after BIG, we don't have a single German organization representing us in Germany in Counter-Strike. So there's not the will to create something like that at the moment, at least. But we have individually very skilled players. We have, for example, xenn, Slugs. We have now Prime Tabs in OG. We have like many skilled individually German players, but as a group of players as an individual player in a group of players in Germany, it is very hard to control the outcome because first of all, there's not so many experienced players. There are not so many insanely good players. Example, Donk, for example, like these kind of players who make such a difference that if you have them in a team, it changes at all. So all the German players, they need to step back and put the team in front of everything else. And at that time, I think German players are not really willing to do that because everyone, like as I said, everyone has this healthy environment in his head. I'm the best player in the world. If I play with 4 likewise skilled players, I think, why do I need to listen always to this guy? He's the same skill set as me, basically, you know? And I think this kind of environment like roots that out, that we definitely have a major winning contender. Like there's no way, like unfortunately no.
Yeah, and like ATAX has gone now, for example, right? All these other teams have just gone. Like the German, there used to be this bit. Yeah, there used to be so many German teams that would pop up and have some good players to filter
4 or 5
in.
of them at least.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember
Tough
back
times.
then it was like many teams who also like the German championship. It was very interesting, you know, back then. Right now we don't really have a German championship. We have like which concludes Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, and like it's so small. It's like not really. They are not really like making advertisement and stuff. Our academy team is winning this league. You know, like it's not so. It means like the German scene is not at the very best state. That our second best team is winning a league, basically.
Do you still have what was it, the Meisterschaft or whatever it was called?
It's not called anymore like that, but it's kind of the same system, yeah.
Yeah, because dude, some of my first commentary back in like 2016 was on that. So like that was always, you would see some good talented players come through, some individually skilled players as well. Oh, that's sad. It is a shame. But it is, we've just gone more international for all of Counter-Strike, right? Outside of like Russian-speaking teams, like it's all full playing. Like, yeah, even Brazilians have gone international now. So yeah, it's just a way of the times. All right, and the last question is from Jaffa Casts, and he says, "Hey Johannes, congrats on Big making it to the major. But how did you handle going from being in Tier 1, falling into the Tier 2 circuit, and what could have been the cause of the team's downfall? What would you do different to make sure the team could keep producing the same performance?" So we've kind of answered some bits of it, but he's gone into some detail as well.
Yeah, I think first of all, like being in a Tier 1 environment, getting into Tier 2 environment, I think you need to have 5 players which definitely accept the reality. And for me, it was more in a Tier 2 environment, you needed to appreciate the small things. Like you needed to appreciate winning a CCT, or appreciating winning these small games. But if you don't do and you see it as a defaultish thing, you will probably lose one of the other games, because the Tier 2 teams, they are playing the most. There are Tier 2 teams which play maybe like in 1 month 105 games or something. Like it's insanely amount of maps they play. So I think for me it was really hard to like get into that mindset with the whole group, basically, to understand we are now where we are where we belong, we are not better where we at right now. And we had some differences in the team, which makes it not easy, of course. Therefore, I think I would say what we could have done differently was probably getting all into the mindset where we needed to work again more than hope that we are somewhere else, basically, if that makes sense. Like just thinking about the reality and being in the reality, and not like looking away and just hope that we are differently or better, basically.
That's a very, very valid point. I mean, when you say that, it just gives me flashbacks to old teams where sometimes it can even be throughout a summer break that you haven't played for a month and you were at a certain level when you stopped, but when you come back, you have to also realize that you are not where you were when you started, like when you went on break. You need to refresh everything, and sometimes it leads to a lot of frustrations because people can come back with having the expectations we are up here, but reality says different, and it can be hard for some players to accept that. Yeah, so I understand what you mean by it.
Well, that's all of our Q&A questions. Thank you to everyone that sent in everything. There's actually one thing I wanted to ask you finally, I guess, tabseN, is I think it was back in 2022. You re-signed with Big like for 5 years as the person of the team. Obviously, that comes up at the end of 2027. But with everything you're saying, it doesn't sound like you're going to retire. You want to keep going with this as long as you can possibly do it?
As long as I possibly can, my body can, and obviously my like environment, you know, like if everything is like kind of set like it is right now, I do see myself playing for a longer time, definitely. Like I love the game. The game made my life, basically, you know, like it changed many lives, and I'm one of them, and I want to keep on going. And as long as I don't put myself, as long as I don't put the team in a bad spot when I'm in the team, then I don't see myself, why should I stop, even though maybe my performance is not the very best, but I do know I bring something up to the table which maybe equals my in-game performances a little bit, because maybe the way how I play, maybe someone else is playing better, you know, and someone having this kind of players in the team is, like, in my eyes, very valuable if the whole concept is in the reach, basically, if it's needed. But I definitely don't say it's my standard how I'm playing right now. I definitely know I can play better, but the circumstances and how everything is right now, also with the game, I will say I don't see the game is in a finished product state.
No,
I think
not yet.
it still needs to get updated and hopefully gets better from time to time. So hopefully one day I will be maybe even better, and then hopefully, I can play the game for a longer time.
Given what you were just saying there, what is the thing that annoys you most about like current CS2 and not being so polished? Like, what would you want to change?
I feel like really recently, after the updates, like where there was the first update with the animation fixed and stuff, I felt like at that time the game is going to the right direction. But right now, after like the updates again, and playing after a long time, I feel like it's going again downhill, since I'm dying a lot behind the walls again. Like I feel like I think it increases a lot again. Like I jiggle, I'm behind my wall, but I die. Like these kind of things.
Most frustrating thing.
So annoying.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I tilt at that all the time.
Yes.
It's like, I know I owned you. I was behind the wall, you shot. I want to go out and kill you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if people remember, but in 1.6 you could have actually changed your interp to make this feel exactly like that. I know where I'm coming from, where it feels like that way, basically, where you kinda are in the same spot where it's not intended, obviously, from the other one, but it kind of feels like it's implemented into the game. And this kind of frustrates me a lot in that state. Like, but I think also we need to say CS2 brings up a lot of good new opportunities. For example, breaking the smoke with an HE. It's a very nice tool to have. But thinking about back 5 years ago, if someone would say to me, you can break the smoke with an HE, I would say, what the hell? It's not Counter-Strike anymore, right?
Yeah. It's all changing in front of our eyes. We're in a new generation of it all. But, you know, I agree with you about like the behind the wall shooting 100%. And good memory on the interp thing. Until you said it, I couldn't even. Yeah, that's actually a good example of kind of where we're at right now.
By that. Early CSGO also had their interp thing where people they was so bad.
Well, tabseN, first of all, thank you very much for joining us, man. I know you've got a hugely busy schedule and it's your off time now before you continue getting ready for the major and head out of there in a few days. So thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. I'll just say, as someone who's known you for these 10 years, from when Big was first formed, And I actually then went to go live in Germany, which was crazy at that time. I was actually living in Berlin near the boys. It's great to see you so happy again, so positive about all of this. It's definitely a change in you that I'm pleased for you. I'm happy for you to see. So good luck going into Cologne. I know how important it is. Devilwalk, any final words?
There's definitely a sparkle to tabseN, and I'm sure you're gonna bring that to Cologne as well. It's exciting to see you guys. It's exciting to see you guys on the top echelons of Counter-Strike again, and I can only wish you the absolute best of luck, because even as a neutral, I would want to see a big in a playoff. So I wish you the best.
Thank you very much, guys. It was lovely having a chat with you guys. Appreciate the invite. I hope you guys doing an amazing job today and obviously the next days, and also with the episodes and stuff. I was watching some of them. I think it's a very cool thing you do, because like talking about Counter-Strike, living Counter-Strike, it's just nice. Having these Yes, exactly. Having mindful people in the same room talking about Counter-Strike and history and things coming up. It's definitely a nice thing to do. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much, tabseN. And lastly, I know we already spoke about just like the Cologne thing into the German fans, but anything you want to say to the guys who sent in questions, everyone who's supporting, everyone around the world, because you know one thing
even
is
in German.
big is no longer even in German you can say it, but also big is now truly international, right? So like it's for everyone.
Yes, I will do it in English, because German people most of the time can speak a little bit of English at least. It's not the yellow from the egg, but it's still okay. So again, thank you very much for the support, guys, especially recently in the months. Like, we've definitely felt it. All of our players felt very welcomed. They felt very nice to be around in a very healthy environment which we have created in the organization, but also from their very true friends, which we needed the most in the very hard years. We were definitely in the rock bottom. We hit hard. Now we are really upcoming again, and I'm looking forward to especially the next event in Cologne, where we hopefully all meet the German fans. You know where you can find us. We are always lovely to have a chat with you guys. Supporting us in Germany will be the most amazing thing ever. And obviously also for the international fans who are supporting us, appreciate you guys and keep supporting. Hopefully there will be nice things to support with. And that's it. I'm out.
And also get the new big jersey that's on offer. Like, look at tabseN right now. Look at this.
Imagine people
shining
in
as
an
well.
Arena, everyone with the
glowing in the dark. Yeah, we can't miss the plug on that at all.
10,000 people.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. That would be absolutely epic. I think that'd be a first. I haven't seen a glow in the dark.
No, I haven't either.
Team jersey.
Nope.
No, it's surely not. Yeah, this is so big. Have done a first. That'll be beautiful to see. But as always, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and drop some comments down below. Next episode's coming real soon. We've got more guests coming your way. We'll be covering all of the IEM Cologne. See you on the next episode.